Romans 8:28. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Cause you're beautiful, that's why. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. So I wanted to tell you how the Lord really fulfilled this scripture in my life. So about what was it, a week ago, my bike went kapooey, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to do. I go to get this food, and it goes kapooey as I'm crossing the street, just a few buildings up from where I go to get this free food. And I got my free food, but I'm like, how do I get the food home? It's 5 miles away. And as I'm going back and forth trying to buy Fix a Flat and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because the Lord allowed me to be stuck there, this lady who wound up being, I ended up attending one of her cooking classes at the community college. She comes up and she's wanting to donate some stuff. She recognizes me and she asked me before she donates it. She asked me, "Do you need a sleeping bag?" And I did specifically. "Do you need a fan?" And I did specifically, especially for the summer, y'all. Summers in Cheyenne are pretty rough and fairly humid, not as bad as Florida though. So because of all that lagging, I wound up getting all of this stuff for free. The bike, I was not able to repair the bike. She gave me a ride home. So I got my food home, my bike home, and then I reached out to a couple people and asked them, told them my situation, asked them could they or would they help me get a bike. Y'all know what? The bike that I got, keeping in mind that the last bike that went kapooey, that bike I kept 4 years and didn't have to do much in terms of maintenance. But this bike that this gentleman kindly gave me and awesomely gave me, this bike here, it's according to Google, it's a 2012 entry level, good quality mountain bike, which is great. You know, it's not top of the line. Back then, it would have been about, according to Google, it'll cost about $550. But it's a good bike. I really wouldn't want a bike, to be honest. It's worth thousands of dollars because I don't want a bike. We do have theft in Cheyenne. I wouldn't want a bike that people would be tempted to like really want to take. But the bike is really a good bike, and it works way better than the bike that I had now. And now you could say the Lord's humbled me. I no longer do the whole wave and give everybody a thumb up. I do smile and laugh at all the targeting because the Lord makes it funny. He doesn't let me get my feelings hurt by it or get angry by it. I do get angry at stupid things that happen in my life, but not at the targeting. And so the Lord makes me see it as though it's happening to me, but it's like I'm watching a dark comedy. You know, this poor sap goes everywhere and people just cuss him out and they gang stalk him and they are briding him and all this stuff. Everybody pretends like they don't know what's happening. So the Lord, so I do still kind of chuckle, not loudly. I try not to do it in a vindictive way, but I definitely can't get the smile off my face because they crack me up. And, but the reason the Lord's humbling me is because I'm not sure what happened to that bike to cause that bike to get the front wheel a little warped. And while the guy who gave me this awesome bike, it's just a little bit bigger than the other bike, he asked me if I wanted to give him the old bike. I was like, of course. And he's probably going to be able to repair it. He has a lot more resources than I do. But he wants to use that bike for his son because that bike happened to be a pretty good quality bike as well. And I just don't even have the money. It needs a new tire. The inner tube could probably be repaired, but the tire that went flat, that tire needs to be repaired. It's bald. But so it wound up being a little bit of a blessing for him too, you could say, because he said he wanted to buy his son. He wanted to get his son a better bicycle. His son's no longer needs like a younger children's bicycle. So that made me feel good that he could get a little something out of it too. But the Lord, I was like, I think in part because the bike's bigger than my previous bike, it's a little bit bigger. And just because that bike I'd been using fairly regularly for 4 years, it's the only way I get around. This bike just runs way better, you guys. So I'm not doing any waving or anything because that might be what caused me to maybe hit a bump. As one gentleman who was kind enough to try to help get the warp out of the front because the front would wobble, the front tire would wobble. He told me you might have hit a bump or something, which could easily have happened without me noticing and hard enough to cause that. And so I'm no longer waving. I'm keeping both hands on my handlebar because I want to keep this bike working as great as it works now. And so this is how the Lord worked all of this for my good, you guys. I got this free stuff, still got my food, got a ride home, and ended up getting with a better bike. God will use, but you got to get to know him, you guys. Pay your tithes and offerings, tithe your time to him through prayer and reading his word. God bless.